name is Muhammad Afar bin Khairil Azizi, and I will talk about my field trip BIO460 report in video form. So, the our field trip is being held at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve, Lancang, Pahang. For your information, this wildlife reserve is established during June 1923 and is one of the largest wildlife reserve in Peninsular Malaysia. And the area of this reserve is around 605.52 kilometers square, and it's located at the Titiwangsa Mountain, Pahang, Malaysia. So the objective of this field trip is to do the identification of three kingdoms at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve, which is Kingdom Animalia, that conclude mammal, aves, reptile, amphibian, insect, and fish. And the second kingdom is Kingdom Plantae, and the last one is Kingdom Fungi. So basically, it's not all the animal or all the species in the Kingdom Animalia, Plantae, or Fungi, just a simple or example of them. So moving on, what is a mammal? Mammal is a vertebrate animal belong to the classes of Mammalia. So the characteristic of mammal, it have milk producing mammary glands, which is the mammal use to nourish their young with the milk secreted from these glands. And the second characteristic is warm-blooded metabolism, which is mammal is endothermic and it's maintained its internal body temperature. So this allows them to thrive in diverse of habitat. And the third part is it have four-chambered heart, which is it will enable the mammals to have a more efficient oxygen transport. And the last one is hair and fur, which is all the mammal will have hair or fur at some stage of their life, which is kind of it's a uh, multiple or various of functions such as insulation, protection, camouflage, and sensory feedback. So this is some of the example of the specimen at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve about the mammal. So I have two examples, which is the first one is the Malayan tiger, which the phylum is Chordata, class is Mammalia, order is Carnivora, family is Felidae, genus is Panthera, and the species name is Panthera tigris jacksoni. So the second example is the leopard cat, which is the phylum is Chordata, class is Mammalia, order is Carnivora, the family is Felidae, genus is Prionylurus, and the species name is Prionylurus bengalensis. So moving on to the ape. What is the ape? Ape is commonly known as a bird, which is a class of endothermic vertebrate. So the characteristic of ape, first is have feather, which the only animal that have feathers is bird or ape, and it serve this structure serve multiple or various purposes such as flight, insulation, and display. And the second characteristic is have a beak or bill, which is the bird have toothless beak, which vary in size and shape based on their diet. And the third one is wing. Not all birds can fly, but all of them possess wing. And the last one is oviparity, which is the bird will lay egg, hard shell egg that made of calcium carbonate. So this is some of the example of the if specimen in Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve. So the first one is crimson breasted flowerpecker, which phylum is Chordata, the classes is Ape, order is Passeriform, the family is Dicadae, and the genus is Prionocilus, and the species name is Prionocilus percussus. So the second example is the black-headed bulbul, which the phylum is Chordata, class is Ape, order is Passerite, the family is the Pinotidae, and the genus is Brachypodius, and the species name is Brachypodius melancocephalus. So moving on to the reptile. Reptile is any member, which for your information, the reptile is a group of a breathing vertebrate. So the characteristic of reptile, that which is first scale and skew, which is reptile have dry and scaly scale that prevent the water loss, and the second part is cold-blooded, which is ectothermic, which their internal temperature vary according to the environment that they live on, and the third one is lung for the respiration. So reptile will breathe using the lung. So the last one is the oviparous, which is egg laying. Most reptile will lay egg on the land. So the this is some of the reptile specimen that uh, that that I see at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve. The first one is the Malayan giant turtle, which is the phylum is Chordata, the class is Reptilia, order is Testudine, the family is Geomididae, the genus is Orlitia, and the species name is Orlitia bornensis. The second as specimen of reptile is the Greek tortoise. So the phylum is Chordata, class is Reptilia, order is Testudine, and the family is Testudinidae, and the genus is Testudo, and the species name is Testudo gracia. So moving on to the amphibian. Amphibian is quite a fascinating vertebrate that exhibit a dual life strategy, which is they can thrive in both aquatic and the terrestrial habitat. So the characteristic of amphibian, first it have moist skin, which is it's help the amphibian to respire through the skin, and the second part is have green rod in retina, which is help them to discriminate more hues of light, and the third one is cutaneous respiration, which is the amphibian will rely heavily on their cutaneous respiration, which is skin surface respiration, which is breathing through their skin surface. And the last one is double channel hearing system, which amphibian possess this specialized hearing system to adapt to their for their survival skill. So moving on to the specimen at the Tengku Hassanal Reserve about the amphibian. That there is two specimen that I want to share. The first one is the spade-foot toad, which is the phylum is Chordata, class is Amphibia, order is Anura, family is Megaphiridae, the genus is Leptobrachium, and the species name is Leptobrachium hendricksoni. And the second what they call the specimen is the long-nosed horned frog, which the phylum is Chordata, the classes is Amphibia, order is Anura, family is the Megaphiridae, and genus is Pelobatrachus, and the species name is Pelobatrachus nasutus. And moving on to the next specimen part is insect. Insect is a hexapod. Invertebrate belong to the classes of Insecta. This remarkable creature are the largest group within the arthropod phylum. So the characteristic of insect, first it has segmented body, which is divided into three parts, which is the head, thorax, and abdomen. Second part is leg. No insect have more than three pair of leg, except for the some in mature form like caterpillar that have additional prolegs. And the third characteristic of insect is having an exoskeleton, which made of chitin that will protect their soft internal organ. And the last one is the compound eye. Insects typically have more than have a pair of compound eyes composed of ommatidia. So when they have compound eyes, their field of view of the vision of the insect is become more wider. So it will help them in the adapting to the survive in the wild. So these are some of the insect that specimen at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve. The first one is Milky cicada, which is the phylum is Arthropoda, the class is Insecta, the order is Hemiptera, the family is Cicadae, and the genus is Ayuthia, and the species name is Ayuthia spectabilis. The second insect is Cicada. The phylum is Arthropoda, the classes is Insecta, the order is Hemiptera, and the family is Cicadae, and the genus is Angamiana, and the species name is Angamiana floridula. So moving on to the fish. What is a fish? Fish is an aquatic gill-bearing vertebrate with a swimming fin and hard skull. Which while lacking limb with digit, fish come in various forms. So, characteristic of fish. First, it have gill because it's fish will extracting oxygen from the water using this gill, which is that allow them to respire through the underwater. And the second part is characteristic is lateral line system, which is the sensory organ detect water movement and the vibration. It's help the fish to navigate and locate their prey. For So moving on to the third characteristic, which is water habitat, which is all fish will live in the water, which is their aquatic environment, which is essential for their survival. And the last one is scale. Fish are covered in scale, which both in protecting protective way and the hydrodynamic purpose. The scale will reduce the resistance during the swimming. So it's help the fish to move more freely. And moving on to the specimen, this is some of the specimen that is that they have at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve. The first one is the Lampam Jawa, which is the phylum of this fish is Chordata. The class is Actinopterygii, and the order is Cypriniform, and the family is Cyprinidae, and genus is Barbonimus, and the species is Barbonimus gonionotus. And the second specimen is Patin. The phylum is Chordata, the class is Actinopterygii, the order is Siluriformes, the family is Pangasidae, and the genus is Pangasiodon, and the species name is Pangasianodon hypothalamus. So moving on to the Plantae kingdom, which is Plantae is known as the plant kingdom that encompass all multicellular eukaryotic organism that exhibit several key characteristics. So the characteristic of the Plantae is the have photosynthetic nutrition, which is plant use pigment and a solar energy to produce the chemical energy from the water, mineral, and carbon dioxide through the photosynthesis process. And the second part is unlimited growth, which is they can grow indefinitely in localized region. And the third characteristic is cellulose cell wall, which is plant cell have a rigid wall that containing cellulose. And the last one is stationary existence. Unlike animal, plant are lack of organ of locomotion, which linked to a relatively stationary lifestyle. So moving on to the specimen at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve, there is a lot of specimen at there. So it's quite difficult for me list down all the specimen. So there are some of the example of the specimen at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve. The first one is the Kacip Fatima, which the class is Magnoliopsida, and the order is Ericale, and the family is Myrcinicae, and the genus is Labicia, and the species name is Labicia pumila. And the second specimen is Tualang, which is the class of Magnoliospida. The order is Fabaceae, and the family is Fabaceae, and the genus is Coompacia, and the species name is Coompacia excelsa. So moving on to the kingdom of fungi. Fungi is a diverse kingdom of eukaryotic organisms that include approximately about 144,000 known species. They encompass yeast, mildew, mold, and also a mushroom. So here are some of the characteristic of fungi. So the first one is have cell wall and cell membrane, which is their cell is distinct from the plant, which is made of cellulose, and the fungi is made of chitin. And the second part is eukaryotic cell. So fungi have a membrane bounded organelle that clearly define the nuclei in their cell. And the third characteristic is heterotrophic nutrition, which is fungi is heterotroph, which is they will obtain the nutrient from the organic matter. And the last one is mode of reproduction, which is fungi can produce sexually and asexually. So moving on to the fungi specimen at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve. This is some of the specimen at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve. So the first one is the uh, Basidium. The division of this fungi is Basidium mycota. The classes is Agaricomycetes. The order is Polyporales. The family is Ganodermataceae. The genus is Amauroderma, and the species name is Amauroderma rugosum. So the second fungi at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve is turkey tail mushroom, which is the division is Basidiomycota, and the classes is Agricomycetes. The order is Polyporales. The family is Polyporaceae, and the genus is Trametes, and the species name is Trametes versicolor. So the conclusion of so moving on to the conclusion, the objective of the video has achieved. There are some of the example of the species that can be found at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve, which is there is a lot more of the specimen or species that can be found at the Tengku Hassanal Wildlife Reserve, and due to the lack of uh, time, I cannot explain all the list all the species, and hope this video helped you learn a new knowledge, and see you, and thank you for the for your listening.